Hello everybody, welcome to the Noble Way. This is our first timer's guide to Animal Kingdom. So if you've never been to Animal Kingdom, or maybe you've been once or twice to Animal Kingdom, you just don't really remember a whole lot about it, this is going to be the perfect episode for you because we are going to be taking you through all the things you need to know about before you come to this park. How to get here, what to expect when you get here, the attractions, the food, everything that you could think of. This is going to be the episode for you. You don't want to miss it. So stay tuned as we go through all the things, and I will just tell you, I'm going to give you one tip right off the bat before we even get into our list, and that is the number one tip that we actually ourselves never follow, and that is never come to Animal Kingdom on the hottest day of your trip. It's so hot. Let's start off with a little bit of background about Animal Kingdom. It opened on April 22nd, 1998. So it's actually been open for over 20 years now. It's been around a long time. And I will tell you, it is a zoo. Literally. It's an actual zoo. It's not just zoo-ish, it is an actual zoo. So they have tons of different animals here. Lots of animal exploration trails and things like that, and it's also a theme park. So you get two for the price of one, honestly. And it is a great place. I will tell you, however, and I mentioned this in the intro, it gets hot in here. All the flora and fauna, all the bushes and trees actually adds to the heat. There's a lot more moisture in the air in this park. So if you feel like this is the hottest park when you come here, it's because it actually is the hottest park. That's why we say, do not come to this park on the hottest day of your trip because it will be even hotter than it would be at any of the other parks. This park is centered around conservation, natural environments, which was actually pioneered by Walt Disney himself. So you're getting a little bit of a glimpse into what Walt Disney really cared about in his life, and one of the parks that he would have loved to have opened had he still been with us. It is just a really cool place.
Let's start out with transportation and getting here. There's really not a lot of different ways to get here, just the bus and if you drive.
Yeah, unlike a lot of the other parks, there's just really not a lot of options. You have to drive your car or take a bus. And I will tell you, even if you're staying on property, we usually recommend that you drive to Animal Kingdom instead of taking the buses because it is a lot easier to get in and out of Animal Kingdom. Waiting for the buses can take a while. And it is a long drive to the opposite end of the park for Animal Kingdom. Unless you're staying in the all-star resorts that are really close to Animal Kingdom and Coronado Springs, most of the other resorts are really far away from Animal Kingdom, so the bus ride can take a long time. So we usually recommend that you drive to Animal Kingdom, but I will say you also might end up parking pretty far away, and it is kind of a long walk, but not nearly as long as Magic Kingdom, but it can take a little bit of a walk. But the trams are running again, thankfully, so it's not that bad. So our recommendation is drive, don't take the bus, even though the bus does drop you off right near the entrance. Once you're in the park, we highly recommend you pick up your guide map. They have these available in different languages. And I know it's a piece of paper. A lot of this stuff is actually available on the My Disney Experience app, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But some people just like to have this sort of physical copy in their hand, and luckily they still offer this. So I highly recommend picking it up. It's a great, easy way to check out the layout of the park and to see where everything is.
I find it easier to have something in my hand to look at other than my phone. I don't like looking at my phone, and just my vision isn't that great, so I feel like the paper map and guide map and brochure is easier for people who can't see very well.
Absolutely, and the park is laid out in 6.5 different areas. You'll find out why I said half. And it's kind of laid out in a circle, almost more like a star pattern than a circle. It's a little bit awkward. I will tell you, Animal Kingdom is absolutely humongous, and you will walk a ton. If you're looking to get your steps in, this is a great park to do it. If you're not looking to get steps in, this is going to be a rough one for you. I will highly recommend, if you do have difficulty walking around and you're thinking about getting a motorized vehicle of some kind, this is definitely the park where you're going to want to get one because A, it's actually pretty hilly. B, it is huge, and so you'll end up walking and going from side to side to side in this park, and it takes a long time to get from one side to the other. So if you were thinking about getting a vehicle to help you get around at some of the other parks, you may not need them. At this park, this is the one to definitely do it if you need that. The 6.5 different areas of the park are the Oasis, which is where you enter, and primarily that's the entrance area. That's going to be a couple of animals there. They have an anteater there. They've got a babirusa. They actually have a baby babirusa right now. So a few different animals and some caves and ducks and fish and things like that. The next one is Discovery Island, which is kind of the central location, I guess, of the park. Although I feel like it's less central and it's just more like the south part of the park if you think of it in a circle. And that's where the big giant tree of life is. That's where Tough to Be a Bug is. A lot of shopping is in this particular area. There are also some animals there like the kangaroos and the otters. Then from Discovery Island, if you head to the immediate left, you're going to run into the brand new Pandora area, World of Avatar, and that's where everything Pandora is going to be. You've got Flight of Passage over there, you've got Navi River Ride, you've got the Satuli Canteen, you've got Pongu Pongo, which is a little bar. So lots of cool things there to see. And then the next section, which is sort of directly behind Discovery Island up to the left, is going to be Africa. Africa, I feel like, is actually the hottest area of the park every time we're in Africa, so it actually feels like we're in Africa. It gets hot there. That's where your safari is going to be. You've also got Harambe Market there. They've got Lion King there, the Lion King show, if you're interested in that, which is a great show. Then moving from Africa, if you follow up to the right and you keep walking, you will run into Asia, which Asia is actually where Expedition Everest is going to be. You've got the Bird Flight show. You've also got Finding Nemo the musical, which is also now called the Big Blue Beyond. And that is a highly recommended show. I absolutely love the Nemo musical. It's probably my favorite stage show in all of Disney. Then as you continue around past Asia and past the Nemo musical, you're going to run into Dino Land. Dino Land is probably my least favorite area of the park. I do think it needs an update. I would actually like them to do something else with it, but it's okay. It's got some small attractions there. It's got some carnival games. And then it has one of my favorite rides actually there, which is Dinosaur, which is a dark ride. It used to be a lot scarier than it is now. So it's fun for all ages. It's still a little bit scary. It's a little bit scary still, but it's a great place. And there's the place called the Boneyard, which is sort of a playground for kids. Now, if you remember, I said it was 6.5 areas, and that's because there's one more area called Rafiki's Planet Watch. Rafiki's Planet Watch is not really a whole entire area, although it's pretty big. You have to take a train from it. You take the train from Africa. So right over there by Harambe Market, between that and Kilimanjaro Safaris, there is a train ride that will take you over to Rafiki's Planet Watch, where you can actually pet some animals. There's some little shops over there, so it's a fun little experience. But I don't really call it a whole entire area. I feel like it's more like a half. So you can see on the map right here, the layout. You've got, sort of at the bottom there, you've got Oasis. Then as you move up, you've got the Discovery Island, and then you kind of can go around the park to get to all the different all the other areas. But again, on the map, it doesn't seem that difficult to navigate, and it doesn't seem that big, but it is huge. I'm not kidding you when I say walking from Asia over to Pandora is probably a 20-minute walk. Probably a 20-minute walk, if not longer, depending on your pace. So this is one of the parks that we do recommend that you plan a little bit ahead when you come here. You don't have to plan everything out, but you probably want to just give the map a quick look-see and think about where might we want to head in what order. Because you don't want to be walking from one end of this park to the other and back and forth, because you'll be done in the first couple of hours and you'll be ready to go home and you're going to miss all the cool stuff. So again, I did mention this is a zoo. There are lots of awesome animal adventures here. There's some in Africa, there's some in Asia. There's the Gorilla Falls, which is in Africa. You've got the Maharaja Jungle Trek, which is actually in Asia. And then of course you have the safari. Then you have a bunch of other animals scattered around the park as well. So definitely check out the guide map.
And if you're looking for fireworks and parades at Animal Kingdom, you will not find them here.
Yeah.
They do have a projection show on the Tree of Life. They do have random riverboat cavalcades and kite tails.
Yeah. The cavalcades just come through randomly through the river. You can kind of see them in different locations of the park. Usually there's a little bit of music. Sometimes you see Mickey and Minnie. Sometimes you see Goofy. Sometimes you see characters from DuckTales, which I love. And Kite Tails, which honestly, Kite Tails is my least favorite show of anything in Disney. Probably my least favorite show of anything that's ever been done in Disney, except maybe the Country Bear Jamboree.
Yeah.
It's rough. They have recently made some changes to Kite Tails. I think they're changing it up, trying to make it a little bit more interesting, or maybe do things throughout the day. But it is in the big amphitheater area there over in Asia. But yeah, it's kind of disappointing. No fireworks or big parades at Animal Kingdom. I kind of understand the fireworks because it probably would scare the animals, maybe. I don't know if that's why. Plus, Animal Kingdom doesn't usually stay open late. so staying open past the evening, like dark hours, doesn't happen a ton. In the dead of summer it usually is. But other than that, it doesn't stay open past dark very often. So, you know, why have fireworks if it's not dark out? So I kind of get it. But the lack of parades is kind of disturbing because I think there could be some really cool. They have had parades in the past in Animal Kingdom. I do think they need to bring those back. So maybe they'll bring parades back. But right now, if you're looking for parades, you're looking for fireworks, this is definitely not the park for it.
There are two big shows at Animal Kingdom. The Big Blue Beyond, that used to be the Nemo show, and the Lion King show. The Big Blue Beyond is a wonderful show. The music is so good. We love the music in the Nemo show. I think I know the Nemo show by heart, and I'm sure I will soon know the Big Blue Beyond show by heart as well. The Lion King show has some amazing singers in it. I'm always awed by all the singers, and we actually know one of the dancers that is in the show that my kids grew up with in our show choir, so it's always fun to go and see that.
Honestly, I love the Finding Nemo musical, The Big Blue Beyond, so much that when I go back and I watch the actual Nemo movie, I'm like, where's the music? Where's the singing? Because I forget that it wasn't actually in the movie because the show is so good. Highly recommend it. And then, of course, Lion King is amazing. I love the acrobatics, the monkeys, the singing, the flying bird. Everything is just amazing. It's an immersive experience. It's great. You've got to see it. As we mentioned at the beginning, this is an actual zoo. There are tons of animals here. A lot of people come to Animal Kingdom and just do the attractions and miss out on all the amazing animals that they have here. I'm just going to list a few of the animals off here. They have gorillas, they have elephants, cheetahs, lions, tigers, they've got otters, they've got kangaroos, they've got giraffes, zebras, hippos, crocodiles. I mean, they have so many different things here. I highly encourage you to actually check out the animals. It's something great to do between attractions. So instead of running between attraction and attraction and attraction, plan some downtime in between some of these attractions where you can kind of nicely just casually walk through some of these different areas. They even have bats that literally are not behind a cage. They can fly above you. I usually skip that one, I'm not gonna lie.
I don't.
Things in my hair. No thanks. Animals are scattered throughout the park, but there are a couple of big locations where the animals are gonna be. The Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail, which is actually conveniently at the exit of Kilimanjaro Safari. So when you get off Kilimanjaro Safari, plan for the fact that there is an awesome exploration trail right at the end of that. So if you're thinking about planning out your day, pad some time in there after Kilimanjaro Safari to stop by at the Gorilla Falls Exploration and check out the cool things that are back there. Obviously there are gorillas back there, but there's some other cool things that I'm not going to reveal right now. Then there's the Maharaja Jungle Trek, which is way back there in Asia by the Kali River Rapids ride. If you want to get soaking wet, that's a great ride for that. And back there they have tigers and all sorts of really cool things, and that's where the bats are going to be. So don't overlook the animals. We've actually done an all animals episode of Animal Kingdom. I'll put a link in the description below for that, but it is an awesome, awesome experience. Don't miss out on it.
If you're wondering what to use your Genie Plus or Lightning Passes on, it's Expedition Everest, the Safari, and Flight of Passage.
Those are the big three. You can use them on other things as well, obviously, but we highly recommend those are the big three that you're going to want to try and grab, especially Flight of Passage. That can get up to a 2-hour wait easily, even still, and it's been there for a long time. The Safari, surprisingly, can be pretty long as well, up to an hour or two. Expedition Everest kind of is sometimes there's nobody in line, and sometimes there's a lot of people in line. You can get on Expedition Everest in 5 minutes, and sometimes it's an hour wait. The good thing is it does push people through there really fast, so even if you have to wait in line, it's usually not too long. But if you're thinking about what to use them on, those are the things we recommend. If you really, really want to think about what's the next thing to use it on, I would say probably going to be Lion King, the show, or maybe Into the Big Blue Beyond. Those theaters do seat a lot of people, so you don't usually need to use it, but if you're just really searching for what else can I use this on, that would probably be the next one. Let's talk about some of the amazing food that they have here at Animal Kingdom. They have lots of table service and quick service restaurants to choose from. Your big table service restaurants are going to be your Tiffin's, which also has the Nomad Lounge attached to it. And that's going to be a little bit more expensive food there. A little bit fancier, a little bit expensive, but it's a nice place to eat. It's right over there in the Oasis on your way over towards Pandora. You've also got my personal one of my personal favorites, the Tusker House for character interaction dining. It's sort of a buffet or all you care to enjoy. During COVID, it was removed from being a buffet to family style, but you can get as much food as you want there. It is an excellent place to eat, and the character interactions are fantastic. Mickey is there. Minnie is also there. There's a lot of great characters there. And the food, I feel like the food there is very interesting and different from most of the food that you find anywhere else in Disney. And the last two big options you have from table service is going to be Yak and Yeti, which is my personal, actual favorite restaurant in, I think, all of Disney. It is fantastic. It is Asian inspired and it is a great one. We have done a complete review on that in the past. I'll link to that below if you're interested. And then also Rainforest Cafe, which I don't think a lot of people know about. It's sort of in that entrance area. There's another one at Disney Springs. But you do accept Landry's cards for both Yak and Yeti and Rainforest Cafe, which can really save you a lot of time when it comes to reservations, because you don't have to have a reservations if you have the Landry card. You just walk in, get the next available table. Then there's the quick service options, and there's a few pretty decent ones here at Animal Kingdom. You have the Flame Tree Barbecue, which again is over in the Oasis area, sort of in the front of the park. And it's just what it says, it's barbecue food. It's pretty good. You also have Pizza Safari, and you've got the Restaurantosaurus. So Pizza Safari is going to be pizzas, Restaurantosaurus is going to be burgers and chicken. Restaurantosaurus is like it sounds, it's over there in Dino Land. Pizza Safari over there is in Oasis again. And then the last quick service, which I think is the best quick service in Animal Kingdom personally, that's the Harambe Market. Now the Harambe Market used to have multiple different food options. There's a bunch of different windows there and they had different types of food. Since COVID, they have consolidated and they only have one menu for the entire area, but that menu is actually really good. They've got some chicken and ribs bowls that are really fantastic. We highly recommend them. And last but not least, there are going to be a lot of little vendors all around the parks with ice cream and my personal favorite, the dill pickle that I can grab at any time. They've got turkey legs, also got some ice cream. There's a little Zumi sweet shop over in Africa that's got some pretty good treats. So lots of food options here in Animal Kingdom. Thanks for watching our first timers video for Animal Kingdom. We have lots of other great content. If you know anybody who might find this interesting, go ahead and send it to them because it could help them out in the future, especially if they're planning a trip coming up. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, the Noble Way.
It's the easy way.
Bye-bye, everybody.